Hello, thank you for joining us on the news tonight. In our headlines, President Tinubu scraps Government Asset Recovery Committee. Ababio hails Tinubu's support for Akwa Ibom. Federal government is playing fuel subsidy savings. On the foreign scene, US faces backlash over inaccurate AI-generated map of Africa. In sport, Emerson qualifies for Commonwealth Games final. I'm Princess. AKZ now details of the news. President Bola Tinubu has approved the immediate dissolution of the Presidential Implementation Committee, PIC, on the alienation of federal government properties, transferring responsibility for his activities to the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi. The committee, established in 2000 to oversee the privatization, sale and lease of federal government properties, was dissolved after the government said it had exceeded its original mandate, leading to multiple litigations across the country. The president also directed the committee's former secretary, B.S. Tunsi Ma, to stop acting on behalf of the dissolved committee and the federal government on all related matters. Akwa Ibom residents have been assured of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's continued support through the approval of funds for additional constituency projects across the state. The assurance was given on Thursday by the President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, during the continuation of the third phase of constituency project in Etimebo local government area. The Senate President was represented by his wife, Dr. Mrs. Unoma Ikaite Godswill Akpabio. Our correspondent David Asong has the details.
It was yet another day of commissioning constituency projects for the people of Ibom Northwest Senatorial District.
We are going to say thank you to the Senate President for facilitating this one here.
In Etemekbo local government area, Paramount Ruler, His Royal Majesty Akuku Amana Mudo, appreciated the Senate President for remembering his people. Following the visit, the Senate President led a delegation to commission the Inyangekboikot Road, Urogata Road, Iwukem Udoite Road, Ikorobiobat Road, alongside other rural development projects in Etemekbo. Speaking on behalf of the Senate President, Dr. Mrs. Akpabio expressed appreciation to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for approving constituency projects executed by members of the National Assembly.
The President of the country made this project to be possible. The single Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu, if he did not approve the constituency project, this project would not have come here. And because he made it possible, our leader and our father brought this constituency project to this world. All our political stakeholders, Mrs. Enyekere representing all of them,
support for President Bola Tinubu, Senate President Godswill Akpabio
have nothing to say. We know that our father will win election.
With the commissioning of people-centered projects by the President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, residents of Etemekbo are hopeful that this project will improve their livelihood. From Etemekbo local government area, David Isong, Adbn News.
House of Representatives has opened an interactive session on the persistent gas seepage in Bile community, Degema local government area of River State, with lawmakers seeking to establish the cause of the incident, assess its environmental, public health, and socio-economic impact, and determine whether there were failures in regulatory oversight or emergency response. ADB's Laraba Moray has more.
Months after the gas seepage was first reported, investigators are still trying to establish its source, and lawmakers are seeking answers as to whether the response by relevant agencies has been adequate.
We expect to receive updates on medical interventions provided to affected residents, relief measures implemented, and ongoing community support initiatives.
That people's lives could be on the line for this number of months and nothing is being done about it. And you sit here to suggest to us that you don't even know what is the cause or what is responsible for it.
Lawmakers demanded answers over the gas seepage, which lasted for more than 8 months, raising concerns that the prolonged incident could pose serious health and safety risks to affected communities. They questioned the response by regulatory agencies, while officials maintained that investigations are ongoing to determine the source of the gas and the appropriate response.
On December 16, 2025, brief the Honorable Minister was briefed. The DG briefed the Honorable Minister of Environment, presented background findings, current status, number, no operator yet confirmed liable, regulatory structural implication.
For residents living with the uncertainty, the next hearing could be crucial. Lawmakers are expecting to hear from absent stakeholders while weighing measures, including possible relocations of affected communities. Laraba Moray, Adbn News.
Minister of the Federal Capital Territory FCT, Barrister Nyesawike, has assured residents that all ongoing infrastructure projects awarded by the Federal Capital Territory Administration FCTA will be completed before the end of the year. Speaking with journalists after inspecting the ongoing construction of the extension of Collector Road CO1 Lincoln, now University area in the institution and research district with Dube, and the Arterial Road N1 from Wuye District to Ring Road 2. Barrister Wike said the Tinubu administration remained committed to delivering every project it had initiated.
What I saw today, I can tell you comfortably, if we complete that project, I can beat my chest and go home and say, I'm happy. The administration of Bola Tinubu was in providing the basic infrastructure that has transformed Abuja to a city it's supposed to be.
The minister also disclosed that the cost of completing the abandoned Millennium Tower project in Abuja has soared to between 300 billion and 400 billion naira. He said the development makes it financially unviable for the FCT administration to proceed within its current budgetary limits.
And I believe that is one project that government should reconsider. Should be a tourist center project. The capital involved is too huge for the FCT to have this one statutory budget. We have discussed with the contractor. Remember that project was awarded under passenger regime. As I speak to you, it's not less than 300 to 400 billion naira that the contractor is talking about. And if you look at it, how do we carry such project? it means that every other project in Abuja will have to be abandoned.
He urged residents to remain patient, reiterating that every project initiated by the administration would be completed. Moving on, Progressive Local Government Chairman's Forum has pledged to spearhead nationwide mobilization for the re-election of President Bola Tinubu ahead of the 2027 general elections. The commitment was made during a courtesy visit by the Forum's Executive Council to APC National Chairman Nentawe Yowada and the party's National Secretariat in Abuja. Forum Chairman Mr. Jibrin Alheri said the 685 APC local government chairmen across 31 states remain the party's grassroots strength.
Regarding the issue of the autonomy of the local government, the President have been pursuing this for a very long time, and a lot of our states, most of the states in the Progressive Local Government Chairman states are enjoying full autonomy. Lots of states are enjoying full autonomy, and this is a gradual process. It's a transition process. It's something that has been going on for a very, very long time. The APC, as a party, has taken it upon itself through the leadership of the President to ensure that we get complete, full autonomy. In Niger State, we are having all the support that we need from our governors, and in most of the states under the Progressive Local Government leadership are also having very good support from our government, and we are transiting jointly, slowly but surely, towards complete and full autonomy.
Alheri said the forum has set up a national working committee to drive mobilization and plans to endorse President Tinubu at this national inauguration formally. He also called for closer collaboration with Progressive Governors Forum. The forum's Director General said local councils are now better positioned to deliver development following reforms under the current administration.
We are the luckiest council chairman to have gotten Mr. President as our own president, who have the council chairman deeply in heart and has come up with enough of policies where the local government now have more resources to be impacting the dividend of the democracy at the local level. And I praise to Mr. President.
We are the closest to the grassroots. We have our structures down to the grassroots. We have the community trust. We have our administrative structures. We have the grassroots intelligence. And that's the reason why we have come together today to show our support for the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, because we've not had any president in the history of Nigeria who has shown his love for the local governments of Nigeria.
Responding, APC National Chairman Professor Nentawe Yowada described local government chairman as the party's greatest political asset.
Give the strong assurance that the party will stand by you. Give the assurance that you have our full support. That we stand with you with all our hearts, with all our mind, with all our strength. We'll be with you step by step, toe to toe. You have our back to ensure that your program succeeds. And we rest assured also on convey the same message to Mr. President.
Yowada urged elected office holders to take ownership of political mobilization, saying effective local governance is key to reducing poverty. He also assured the forum of stronger collaboration with the Progressive Governors Forum and said President Tinubu will be briefed on the initiative. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has presented land allocation letters to 98 communities in the Utuomo New Town project area as part of efforts to promote planned and inclusive development in the Lekki-Epe corridor. Sanwo-Olu said the allocation recognizes the rights of indigenous communities and followed extensive consultations with traditional rulers, community leaders, and other stakeholders since 2020. The governor also reaffirmed its administration's commitment to investing in roads, bridges, and other critical infrastructure to drive development in the area.
Ensuring that residential, commercial, industrial, and institutional and recreational land use are properly integrated so that infrastructure can be effectively provided, investment can flourish, and residents can enjoy a better quality of life today and in the future. This is fully consistent with the vision under our Teams Plus agenda and our commitment to building a Lagos that is more inclusive, a Lagos that is more resilient, and a Lagos that is sustainable and is globally competitive.
Also speaking, Permanent Secretary of the Lagos State Lands Bureau, Kamar Olowosago, noted that the exercise will ensure indigenous communities remain key stakeholders and direct beneficiaries of the Ito Omo New Town project. He described the presentation of the allocation letters as the beginning of the implementation phase of the project.
We are fulfilling a promise made in year 2020 by the Governor of Lagos State, Governor Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu. I'm delighted that this commitment has now come to fruition. Letters to the 98 communities identified within the project area during the planning phase. I congratulate all the beneficiaries and would also like to encourage you all to continue working hand in hand with the state government to ensure the successful implementation of the development plan for this area.
The governor also inspected the ongoing construction of the Omo Creek Road and Bridge project in Ibeju-Lekki.
We are fulfilling a...
You're watching Adbn News at 7. Stay with us for more stories after this break. Glad to have you back in the news. Delta State government says it is confident that the 2026 Delta Economic Summit will attract investment, drive economic growth, and create more opportunities for residents. Commissioner for Works, Rural Roads and Public Information, Charles Aniago, said the Oboriwori administration's investment in infrastructure and accountable governance have positioned the state for increased local and foreign investment. He identified agriculture, the blue economy, hospitality, housing, and the creative industry, as well as information technology as key sectors expected to attract investors.
That is paying off. A number of them are coming in. There are some other persons from China that are to take advantage of what. There are a number of other investors that will also be coming indigenous. We are collaborating with Nasima. At the moment that I speak with you, they have also supported us. We wanted just one diamond sponsor, but today we are having 5 diamond sponsors. We thought that it was going to be just one good sponsor, but we have about 3.
Ms. Chaniago further disclosed that renowned speakers and industry experts will provide insights into various investment opportunities, with the summit expected to deliver lasting economic benefits for all Deltans.
End of the day, we are going to be able to have interactions and expose to them those other opportunities that indeed abound in our state. And to tell you that one is a very notable Nigerian who is more or less our export to the world, in the person of Professor Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, the Director General of the World Trade Organization, will be the keynote speaker. Patrick Lumumba, the Kenyan, who is a Pan-African scholar, will also be on ground to deliver his own address.
The commissioner also dismissed claims by some opposition figures who linked the recent viral video of violence in Efron Wari, in which a protocol officer attached to the governor was assaulted, insisting that the incident had no political undertone and was not connected to the APC as a political party.
Asked, directed the security agencies to proceed to investigate both the immediate and the remote cause of that disturbance, with a view to bringing the culprits to book. So we'll leave it at that so that we do not also preempt the outcome of the investigation. But it will not be proper for us to begin to cast aspersion here and there when the outcome of the investigation has not been made public. Otherwise, it will amount to taking a position even when we don't have all the facts. So that's that about the issue of the disturbance.
Adbn Delta correspondent Charles Kusipere reports that the protocol officer is receiving medical treatment and is recovering steadily. Still in Delta, the state's Joint Allocation Committee, JAC, has approved Governor Sheriff Oboriwari's decision to promote primary school graduate teachers from grade level 14 to grade level 17. Commissioner for Primary Education Rose Ezewu said the approval would boost teachers' welfare, restore confidence in the profession, and attract more qualified educators to public primary schools. While Commissioner for Local Government Affairs, Kelly Pinao, commended Governor Oboriwari's support for local councils, noting that ongoing reforms have improved councils' capacity to pay salaries promptly and execute development projects.
They have been fighting for quite some years now. And now they have to put more effort in their teaching profession. They have to see that their scheme of work and their lesson note is well planned so that they can impact the knowledge well into the children. That laxity of saying, after all, I will end my journey of teaching of primary school level 14 will not be there. It will be there for them to do better.
This new government who has put at heart. He has done so many things, and this is to add to what he has been doing. He has done well, and we appreciate him on behalf of also the teachers. Thank the governor for giving this approval, and at the JAC level, it has been rectified. So I think we are on course. The governor is doing very well.
Chairman of the Delta State Universal Basic Education Board, SABEB, Samuel Marire, praised JAC members for unanimously endorsing the governor's decision, describing it as a reflection of their collective commitment to improving education in the state. Delta Algon Chairman and Chairman of the Obe Local Government Council, Isaiah Esiowa, said the approval would motivate primary school teachers to further impact knowledge and strengthen learning outcomes across schools.
Before now, the basic and main qualification for being a teacher in the primary school was the National Certificate of Education, which is the NC. But as the reform goes on, we found that the quality of our teachers are reducing, and there is need to upgrade them by bringing in degree teachers. And once you bring in degree teachers, it means you have to up them to the maximum that the degree can carry them to, which is level 17. And graciously, His Excellency has approved that every primary school teacher in Delta who have a degree can now grow as much as level 17 against level 14 that was the cap for primary school teachers before now. Secondly, we can now employ graduate teachers to improve the quality of teachers we'll be having in the primary school. This is in line with the MOA agenda. This is in line with improving our primary schools and making our education sector the best. Because you agree with me that the basic education or the primary school is the foundation of the education.
In the primary school, just as the approval has given, you will see that all the teachers in the primary school will have the enthusiasm to work hard.
In their separate remarks, the NUT chairman in the state, Comrade Paul Benny Dixon, and the chairman of Local Government Service Commission, Honorable Joseph Etorui, applauded Governor Boriwari for the landmark decision and the local government chairman for unanimously ratifying the career progression.
I am overwhelmed, short of words. This stagnation has been for decades, but by the grace of God, with prayers, no struggle, no protest, no strike, with dialogue negotiations, men of good hearts, men with right words, sincerely handle this issue. So want to sincerely appreciate him beyond measures. NUT in Delta State, we owe him a duty to support him, to stand by him at all levels. We are so proud of him. In the aim of things, in his more agenda, he sees teachers as a major priority, especially the primary school teachers, who he has taken off the bulk load off their neck.
You expect development, you expect growth, and the society will be able to move higher. So on our own is to complement his effort and continue to contribute to his more agenda from time to time.
Adbn's Delta correspondent Charles Kosepere reports that they express confidence that the initiative would ultimately translate into better teaching standards and improve learning outcomes for pupils in Delta State's public primary schools. And now to Kogi State, the state governor Ahmed Usman Ododo has called on Nigerians in the diaspora to support President Bola Tinubu's economic reforms and invest in Kogi State to boost development. He made the appeal during a town hall meeting with Kogites in London. The governor said Tinubu's reforms have improved state's capacity to fund infrastructure, education, healthcare, and agriculture, highlighting major federal government projects underway in Kogi. Ododo urged Kogites abroad to promote the state's investment opportunities as participants pledge to support Kogi's development through investment, expertise, and global partnerships. Joint security forces have rescued 9 kidnapped victims and killed 3 suspected bandits during an operation in Ekiti local government area of Kwara State. The operation was carried out by forest guards, Department of State Services operatives, local hunters and vigilantes along communities bordering Ekiti and Niger State. Security sources said the victims were abducted from the Eju community and were being moved through a forest route toward Niger State before they were rescued. Described as one of life's greatest gifts, offering support, companionship, and a sense of belonging. But while some friendships stand the test of time, others can become a source of disappointment and emotional strain. As the world celebrates connections both online and offline on World Friendship Day, our correspondent takes a look at what friendship really means to people across generations.
For many young people, friendships are built through school, work, and social media. They say good friends provide emotional support, motivation, and a sense of belonging during difficult times. However, not every friendship lasts. Misunderstandings, distance, and broken trust are amongst the reasons many relationships come to an end.
Don't be desperate to make friends, because that's like one of the mistakes you can ever make. So don't be desperate to make friends, because when you are desperate, you will definitely end up with bad friends or the wrong kind of friends that will never value you or love you. So just be free. Be yourself, let it flow, and you see that
Trust, it should be involuntary. There must be respect between those involved. There also is the idiosyncrasy. Now, the thing is that if some of these factors are not in place, you will discover that it impacts negatively on friendships.
Basically, if you have a friend, if the person is not impacting you in any social way or any positive way, left to me, they are pointless, because a friend is supposed to be there when you need them, and they are not supposed to just use your secrets when they are angry.
Older generations say friendship has changed over the years. While technology has made communication easier, they believe genuine relationships are built on commitment rather than constant online interaction.
This generation, we have what we call welfareist relationship, stomach infrastructure relationship. Those are artificial friends. They are on the periphery. They are not in depth, in spirit, in physical.
Social media has made my own friendships like really better. If I see, I see things on social media every day that like inspires me to be a better friend to my friends and everything.
It is very important to have healthy friendships. Like we call them in psychology, it translates to having a good social support system. Yeah, your social support system does involve your family and your friends. However, your friends are a very important and useful part of your social support system. We sometimes refer to them as your free therapist.
Don't pray to God to tell you who your enemies are. Just get into one tiny trouble. Then you will know who your true enemies are and you will know who your true friends are. It's in times of trouble that you know who your true friends are.
Experts have long linked healthy friendships to better emotional well-being, reduced stress, and stronger communities. Post Research Gurus, Adbn News.
You're watching ADB News at 7. We'll bring you business, foreign, sports, and entertainment stories after this break. Stay with us. Welcome back, and now to business. Federal government says it will soon publish a detailed breakdown of how savings from the removal of fuel and foreign exchange subsidies have been spent, following growing public concerns. Finance Minister Taiwo Oyedele said Nigerians deserve transparency, adding that the report will be released within days. He's saying that part of the savings had gone into debt servicing, the new 75 minimum wage, and social programs. Oyedele also defended the government's borrowing, saying improved revenue does not eliminate the need for financing when expenditure exceeds income. Central Bank of Nigeria and the Emerging Markets Forum brought together some of the world's top economic voices this week as WTO Director General Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala and CBN Governor Olayemi Kudose warned the global trading order is under its greatest strain in 80 years. Addressing the 7th Africa Emerging Economic Forum in Abuja, both insisted the disruption is opening new doors for Africa. We'll bring you that report in our subsequent bulletin. Moving on, marketing professionals and brand executives are stressed the need for innovation, collaboration, and strategic thinking to keep businesses competitive in today's evolving marketplace. They made a call at the National Institute of Marketing of Nigeria, Uyo Chapter's Marketing Morning Breakfast held in Uyo. Adbn correspondent Emmanuel Salas reports.
Brand managers, business executives, and industry stakeholders at Persian Event Hall in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State for the National Institute of Ideas, chairman of the Uyo chapter, Mrs. Anieka Nesienete, who is also the group manager, marketing and communications at Ibom A, described the institute as a statutory body established to regulate the marketing profession in Nigeria.
So the law empowers the institute to determine who qualifies to practice marketing professionally in Nigeria, meaning that you're not officially a member of this institute at all. Okay, set and review standards of knowledge, competence, and ethics for marketers. Conduct professional examination and certify qualified professionals. Register marketers and regulate the profession. Promote research, education, and continuous professional development. And of course, enforce a code of professional conduct and discipline members where necessary.
Some participants exposed them to new ideas, and offered practical solutions to challenges facing business in an increasingly competitive market.
We're talking real estate right now in the States. We're talking Aqua GIS. That is a platform where we all can adopt, get out there at the land, an example. It's a democratized platform that we are engaging for real estate. And that is the conversation that I'm having as a lead here.
Whether you're doing private business or you're working in the public sector or you're doing consultation or something brought to here, whatever it is that affects this state affects you, including those who feel that they're not in the public space. So if we're able to do our jobs well, which I hope by the grace of God that this particular
synergy in terms of town and now I want to commend you for what you've done thus far. There's a synergy already existing between the town and now. And the next synergy, we already have an existing synergy at the National Institute of Marketing between ACON, NIPR, and the National Institute of Marketing.
The Marketing Morning Breakfast fosters unity, progress, and professionalism among practitioners in Nigeria. Emmanuel Silas, ADBN News.
Stakeholders in Nigeria's oil and gas sector are demanding better governance safeguards, stronger regulatory compliance, and more methane abatement incentives to lower methane emissions that harm the health and safety of communities in the Niger Delta. This discussion took center stage at a stakeholders engagement and validation workshop on methane abatement financing in Nigeria, which was held in Abuja. ADBN's correspondent Beat O'Brien brings us the report.
The workshop on methane abatement financing in Nigeria
focused on providing an actionable roadmap to curb methane emissions, improve financial transparency, and strengthen disclosure of methane revenues and expenditure. In separate remarks, the organizers underscored the need to align government policies and improve monitoring by agencies with overlapping mandates.
A lot has been done within the Nigerian policy frameworks to address this issue. One is the Petroleum Industry Act, which clearly ensures that penalties from gas flaring, which is one of the biggest sources of methane emissions, should go into something called the midstream and downstream gas.
The PIA Act mandates that NEPRC and NPRA should provide information on gas, which will include the emissions around methane emissions every year around in June, but we still haven't received that since the PIA was produced, and this is why we have events like this and also have studies like this as well that want to go deeper.
During the open dialogue and presentation of findings, regulators and community stakeholders filed in recommendations on the judicious use of environmental remediation.
But the truth is that if there will be support from international community, they need to understand what are the challenges, where are the things, what's the situation, what's the scenario, and then they'll be able to attack, they'll be able to see how to support.
There is a mandatory provision by virtue of section either 107, 108 of the PIA that mandates all operating companies have to meter their gases in terms of flaring purpose. For any gas that is destined to flare have to be metered, so that because metering of those gas flared is the basis for your MRV.
We ensure that from cradle to grave, the projects are run as in line with extant regulations or guidelines, as it were. We are not overly particular about the source of funding, right? A project owner is supposed to know how he wants to get his funds.
Discussing environmental pollution, we are discussing survival. We are discussing, how to mitigate climate change. I don't really need, it's not necessary that we must go through the FOI Act to access those information, because we are talking about survival. Why do we need to go through that route?
The validation workshop organized by Policy Alert in collaboration with the Natural Resource Governance Institute attracted regulatory agencies and stakeholders within Nigeria's oil and gas sector to validate implementation and existing enforcement frameworks in abating fugitive methane emissions and leakages. In Abuja, Bito Brian, Adbn News.
And now on the foreign scene, a U.S. State Department presentation of the 8th 2026 conference in Brazil sparked criticism after an AI-generated map incorrectly labeled every country in Africa, overshadowing its global health announcement. The map misplaced several countries, including showing Nigeria as landlocked and relocating Mozambique and Cote d'Ivoire. The State Department accepted responsibility, saying the error resulted from a last-minute presentation change and apologized to African delegates. The incident has reignited concerns over the use of artificial intelligence in official communication for stronger human oversight before AI-generated content is used at high-profile events. Authorities in the Spanish territory of Ceuta have asked Madrid to declare a national emergency and deploy the army after thousands of migrants crossed into the enclave from Morocco. Most of the migrants were Moroccans, with a smaller number of Algerians crossing mainly by swimming or walking around coastal breakwaters into the North African territory. The mass crossing echoes the 2021 migration crisis, when more than 8,000 people entered Ceuta within 2 days. The cause of the latest surge remains unclear. And now in sport, Team Nigeria enjoyed another productive morning session on day 7 of the 2026 Commonwealth Games in Glasgow, with reigning champion Toby Amusan producing a sensational performance, while Samuel Ogazi and Edidiong Udo booked the places in the men's 400 meters final. World record holder Amusan laid down the marker by storming to victory in our women's 100 meters hurdles heat in 12.19 seconds, the fastest time ever recorded at the Commonwealth Games. Nigeria also celebrated a double qualification for the men's 400 meters final. Samuel Ogazi dominated the opening semi-final, powering to victory in 44.52 seconds. Edidiong Udo joined him in the final after another composed performance from lane 8, clocking 45.53 seconds. Initially third across the line, Udo was promoted to second after Antonio Watson of Jamaica was disqualified. In the women's 400 meters, Ella Onojuwewo delivered another commanding display, pulling away in the closing stages to win her semi-final in 51.47 seconds and qualify for the final. Nigeria also secured another finalist in the field events as Chinechere Nnamdi qualified for the men's javelin throw final. Confederation of African Football says it will review FIFA's proposal to open the commercial operations of the FIFA World Cup and other major competitions to private investment. CAF said its president, Patrice Motsepe, will meet with the Confederation Executive Committee next week to examine the proposal and determine Africa's position. The governing body added that its member associations will also be consulted in accordance with FIFA and CAF regulations. CAF reaffirmed its commitment to working with its member associations, FIFA and other continental confederations and key stakeholders to increase financial resources for the development of football in Africa and around the world. The proposal follows FIFA's plan to establish the FIFA Forward Enterprise FFE, a commercial subsidiary that would manage the business operations of its flagship competitions, including the FIFA World Cup. Under the proposal, FIFA would retain majority ownership of the company while seeking to raise approximately $4.2 billion by selling minority, non-controlling stakes to long-term investors. European football's 55 member associations have voted to boycott World Cup if the sport governing body proceeds with a plan to sell stakes in its competitions to private investors. The decision was made at an emergency meeting called to discuss the proposal announced earlier this week by FIFA, which oversees world football. UEFA, which governs European football, had already made its opposition clear by releasing 2 damning statements, and that strength of feeling has been reaffirmed. UEFA's boycott would cover all FIFA's competitions, including the men's and women's World Cups and Club World Cup, and be triggered if FIFA President Gianni Infantino's proposals are voted through by member associations. The first time this stance will be tested at a senior tournament is in October, when the Women's World Cup playoffs are due to be held. Still in sport, Marcus Rashford has wished FC Barcelona well for the new season as he prepares to return to Manchester United for pre-season. Rashford spent last season on loan at Barcelona, scoring 14 goals and providing 14 assists in all competitions. However, the Spanish champions opted not to activate the £26 million option to make the move permanent. The England international also played a key role in Barcelona's successful campaign, scoring in a memorable 2-0 El Clasico victory over Real Madrid, a result that secured the La Liga title, beg your pardon. In a message posted on social media, Rashford thanked everyone at the club for making a spell in Spain such a positive and memorable experience. He added that he enjoyed every moment of Barcelona and would leave with many special memories. On entertainment, fast rising Nigerian artists had a North American and European tour with Afrobeat stars Odumodu Black and Zlatan expanding his international profile. The Lagos-born singer performed in major cities including New York, Toronto, London, Atlanta, Madrid, and Boston following the success of his Burst EP. Straffiti said his music blends African sounds with street hop, Congolese rhythms, and Angolan influences as he continues to grow his global fan base. And that's all we have for you tonight on the news. Remember to watch us live on DSTV channel 258, on Star Time channel 140, Evo TV app, Limex World TV app, and Niger TV app. For more stories, visit our website.